Okay, on this we're going to demonstrate how to use the enable and disable feature on the individual power mods themselves. So you see here our original configuration of an Xg1, an Xg2, an Xg4 and an Xg5. Now what we're demonstrating here is the enable and disable of the Xg1 module only, and we're doing that by means of this hardware here. Now we take the 5V bias from the front end and we use that as a pull-up voltage in order to enable and disable the module here. So you'll notice that the power good light is on, and when I switch in the 5V into this pin, we turn off this module only. And again, if I enable the product, we'll turn it back on again. What we're now going to demonstrate is the enable and disable, but we're going to reverse the logic. So remember, the unit is on. When I supply 5V, we turn the unit off and we turn the unit back on again. Whereas now, what we're going to do is by means of the dip switch, we're going to reverse that logic. So the dip switch is here, the inhibit. If I change the polarity of that and I plug it back in again, and I turn the supply back on, this time the module is turned off until I supply 5V, and now the module is turned on. So I've reversed the logic of the enable and disable feature. Okay, so now we're going to talk through the disable stroke enable feature on the power mods themselves. This allows you to sequence individual outputs as required. So we have two options that are available to the user. The first one is that the default is that we have the unit coming on and supplying a voltage, and the user must supply a voltage to the enable and disable pin in order to shut off the module. Or the second option, and that's by changing the dip switch on the module, which is here. And what you do is that you're reversing the logic here on the internal logic gate, and the result of that will be that the module will remain off until you supply 5V. But other than that, the circuit remains the same. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at the control optocoupler. We give the user access to the LED side of this optocoupler. Internally we have a 2K resistor, and if you want to, you can supply higher voltage here, but it will require a series resistor, and if you do have a voltage higher than 5V, then really you should aim for a forward current of approximately 10 milliamps. So when the diode when the diode conducts here, we turn on the bipolar here. Now this has the effect of turning on and off a logic gate internally, which in turn leads to an enable and disable of the output stage only. So we have no internal time constants, we have no delays. If you wanted to, you could quite easily put a 1 kHz signal on this enable and disable line, and the output will follow that signal seamlessly. So that's the control feature.